So, today I want to talk to you about the difference between good feedback and bad feedback, and why it's so important to get good feedback and get it from the right person. Now, I want you to consider, who do you normally turn to for advice? Think about a person, maybe it's a relative, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, but I want you to keep in mind, who is it that you turn to for advice, particularly when you're trying to make a big decision. You might have a question about whether you should accept a job offer or you should ask for a promotion, anything that is important to you. So think about who you turn to. Today, I want to really explain to you the difference between getting the right advice and being really steered off track. And it's really important that you get the right advice. I call it high quality feedback. And sometimes you don't know whether or not you're getting good feedback, whether or not this is valid advice that you're getting. So I'm going to share five things that you need to look for, the five things that will help you know, is this the right advice or not? So the first thing is, when you turn to somebody and you ask them for advice, are they an expert in the thing you're asking them on? For instance, if they are somebody who is really good at negotiating, job offers or salary, or they've gotten promotions, you might want to turn to them because they've been successful at it. But if you ask somebody who has no experience, maybe they don't even have a job, or they're not in your field. Sometimes you'll ask somebody who's in a completely different industry, a different company. Maybe they're a nonprofit or you're in for profit. Maybe they're in tech, but you're in education. Sometimes when you ask somebody who has no expertise or experience in that field or the thing that you're asking about, that is a red flag. So, number one, ask yourself, does this person who I am turning to for advice, do they have experience? Do they have expertise in the thing that I am trying to figure out? Okay, the second thing is, and there's going to be a red flag that goes up, is, are you asking for this advice, or is this advice coming to you unsolicited? In other words, is somebody just stepping up? Maybe you're sharing an idea with them. Maybe you are talking about a project that you're going to do, or something that's important to you that you are embarking on, and they chime in with their 2 cents. Now, here's the danger in that. Number one, go back to the first thing that I shared with you. Are they an expert? It's a red flag when somebody offers you feedback and you have not asked them. And I have an example. A friend of mine, someone I know, recently started on this new project. Now, she's an expert at this service that she's going to offer. And she started talking about it, and someone chimed in and said, gave her all the reasons that it would not work. And this person turned to me and said she was devastated when she heard this other person give her this feedback. So I said, let's look at this other person. Number one, have they done the research? Are they an expert at the thing that you are planning on doing? What is what's their experience? And the answer to those questions was so important because, number one, that person had no idea. She had not done any market research. She was just coming from her own opinion. So a red flag to look for is, if you're talking about a dream, a hope, an idea, a project, or something that you're planning on doing, and you get unsolicited advice. Sometimes it comes from our friends and family. I know I've gotten plenty of advice from people who have no idea what I do, telling me, what choices I should make. Ask yourself, is this person, go back to number one, are they an expert? Do they have experience? If they're chiming in with their 2 cents, just that's a red flag for you. So unsolicited advice, look for that and don't believe it. Okay? You're going to have to check out, are they an expert? Do they have solid experience? The third thing I want you to consider, and you'll know if it's good advice or bad advice, are they telling you? Now, in other words, are they saying you should do this? Or are they asking you questions? Are they asking you questions like, well, what is your goal? Why is this important to you? How are you going to do this? What kind of support do you have, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me give you an example from my own life. When COVID hit, I did not have, my business was not online at all. I did see all my clients because they were kind of worldwide over Zoom, but I mainly had referrals. People referred to me. I would be out in the community doing workshops, doing talks, and people would approach me and ask me about my services. And that is how people came to my private practice. I would get many clients that way. Now, when COVID hit, just that all that dried up. So I knew that I was going to have to do something online, and I had no clue. But I had been following somebody, an expert in his field, who was expert at launching things. And I had a course, and I had a lot to offer, but I was not savvy in how do you launch things online? How do you get the word out in the digital world on these different platforms? So I had been in his free seminars, and he offered a course, and it was something that you had to pay for. And it was a decent chunk of money. And at the time I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't have any new clients finding me because I wasn't out there doing workshops. So what happened was I decided, I was talking to me, myself, and I, trying to make this decision. And I decided to turn to someone I trusted. Now, she happened to be a neighbor, and this neighbor, she wasn't in my field. Okay, she didn't. She was she's a scientist, and so she was not an expert in my field. But what she did, and what I knew she would do, I knew she would do the right thing. She is a very grounded person. So the first I presented this thing to her. I said, I have this opportunity to invest in learning how to have an online marketing presence, or go on social media. And I know an expert, and he has a course, but it's going to cost money, and I don't have money coming in, and I have to take it out of savings. So instead of her giving me her opinion, thinking about her own bank account, she did something that I want you to remember. Instead of telling me what I should do, she asked me questions. And the key question that she asked me she said, is this something that you think is going to help you? Do you think this course that you're thinking about investing in, even though it's a lot of money and you'll have to take it from savings, is it something that will help you in your business, in your career? And the answer to that was yes. Yes. But it brought up another question. And I want you to think about this question. Inside of me, it brought up the question, oh, but am I going to be successful? So I'm going to give a whole talk on these doubts that come up and take us out of the game. But in this case, she said, is this going to help you? Would this be helpful to your business? I knew 100% it would be helpful. The only question was I going to do the work? Was I going to be successful? And I made that commitment. I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to do whatever it takes. He has all these testimonials. He has all these other people. I knew people who had taken his courses and had used his material. So I said yes to myself. But that's your tip number 3, is that the person is not telling you what to do. They're asking you questions so that you can figure out what is your best plan of action. Okay, so they're not telling you, they are asking you so that you clarify, you get clear on what is right for you. Now, the fourth thing that I want you to consider is is this advice, is it coming from somebody who's neutral? Now, often my neighbor was neutral, right? I mean, but she also has a point of view. Okay. So if she came from her own point of view, geez, Patrice, I don't know. And if she was looking in her own bank account and thinking, well, she wouldn't want to take that much money out of her own bank account, that's not neutral. Okay. Usually our friends, our family, they're not neutral. And that's why people turn to professionals, to coaches, to therapists. Now, not all therapists and coaches practice this, but I practice it religiously, being a neutral party and going back to asking the right questions so somebody can come to their own decision. So the fourth thing I want you to look out for, is this person neutral, or are they your friends and your family? I mean, if you ask somebody for advice on a relationship and they just got out of a bad one, they may be a bit biased and they may say, oh, you should slow down, you don't know this person, whatever. They may be very biased because of their own value system. So most people, if they're not trained, are coming from an opinionated place, and that's okay. They could say, in my opinion, this is what I would do. Okay, that's legit. But if they just say, here's what you should do, they're coming typically from their own opinion. And watch out, if a coach or a therapist tells you, you should get out of that relationship, or you should quit that job, or you should take that job, or whatever. Watch out for that. That is a red flag. So the fifth thing I want you to consider, whether it's good advice or bad advice, when you walk away from that experience, do you feel criticized? Are you brought down? Do you feel less than? Or do you feel like you're coming away with a different perspective, some new ideas, some food for thought? It's very important that whomever you turn to for advice, for feedback, for ideas, that you come away lifted up and not diminished. Okay. There's a way to give somebody feedback about an idea or something that does not diminish them. And again, it goes back to number three, asking questions. Or you could ask somebody, like my neighbor, do you think this will help you? And sometimes you often can lead them to their own conclusions. And so they're the 5 tips I have. So let's review the tips. Number one, when you're asking for advice, consider the person's background. Are they an expert? Do they have experience in it? If not, beware. Number two, if you're getting advice, did you ask the person for it, or did this feedback come to you unsolicited? If it comes unsolicited, that may be a red flag, because that person again is maybe warning you or saying you should do this or that, and they're coming from their own perspective. So is the advice unsolicited? Number three, are they telling you what to do, or are they asking you questions to help you get clear on the best course of action for you? Are they asking or telling? Number four, are they neutral? Are they completely neutral and taking this from a perspective? And you'll know if they're neutral because they will be asking questions, and they won't say, well, this is what I would do, or this is what you should do. Are they neutral? Sometimes people very close to us would not be the party. That's kind of a red flag right there, who are neutral. And the fifth thing, does the advice lift you up or does it diminish you? Do you come away from the conversation feeling criticized, or do you come away with a different perspective, some food for thought? They're the 5 tips I have for you. Now, I have something else for you, and I posted in this group something that I'm so excited about. I've never offered this before. I've offered different pieces of it, but never in a program like this. And what it is, it's the Spark Your Career Mastermind. It's for anybody who wants to elevate their career, their life, people who are switching careers, people who are trying to get jobs, people who wonder if they should quit their job, people who want to get a promotion or a raise, people who are asking questions about how they can improve themselves or their career. So it's a mastermind. What is a mastermind? A mastermind is, in my mastermind, it will be led by an expert. That's me in career. And I'm not just an expert in career. I've been working 40 years with people on helping them make the right decisions, make changes in their life. So this mastermind is going to meet twice a month. All the details are in the document that I sent you. And only this group knows about it right now and the people on my mailing list. Tomorrow, I'm going to open it up to the general public. So I want you to read that document. I want you to private message me if you have questions. And I want you to get on my calendar to have a personal conversation, because this is by invitation only. There are going to be 10 people in the group. The sooner you apply, the better, because I have some bonuses for early people. And one of the bonuses is, $220 off. So it's going to be a hybrid between masterminding, which mastermind, I'll lead the mastermind, and the people in the group, the 10 people in the group, are going to learn how to do high value feedback. That is a skill. That is a skill. Everybody's going to learn some of the coaching tools that you can take into your own life, to your relationships, to your workplace. So you're going to benefit that way. And you're also going to be able to bring your specific issue and be in the spotlight and have us, the group, ask you the right questions to guide you to clarity and to your next action step. Not only that, if you join the mastermind, you're going to get private time with me monthly. Every month, you're going to get 30 private coaching session. You'll get a 30-minute private coaching session with me. And my private work starts at $6,000, and it's for a short amount of time. This group lasts for 4 months, so you'll have 4 privates with me, and the price is much lower than you could have if you were working with me privately. Yet you're going to get private, personalized attention, and you're going to get the value of a powerful group with expert feedback, and the kind of feedback that is high value feedback, so that you can take action, you can get clear about the things that you need help with, and get clear and elevate your own career. We're all going to be learning. You're going to be learning from each other. You'll learn from me. I'll be learning. We're all going to have aha experiences in this group. I couldn't be more excited about this. So jump into the direct message me, or just go ahead and schedule. I will pin that post to the top of the group, so you'll see that post and you'll download, or just go to the file and there is a document that explains everything, and then schedule your call, and you will we'll be in conversation, and we'll see if it's a great fit for you. So it's great to be back in the group. I hope you have a wonderful day. It's Monday here. It's probably Monday where you are, unless you're in Australia. So happy Monday, and I'll talk to you soon.